The magistrate, in his conclusion about me, says, insofar as accused number 8, Mr. Bongo, I find that this guy is a man of integrity. Every contract he has drafted, every work he has put was above board. This has politics in it. It does not have the merits. But it was painted in public so that every one of you believe that even the judge must believe what were guilty. But for the first time, I also realized that some of the judges are people of integrity. I have made a commitment with our people, and I'll serve them in whatever capacity, starting from being a councillor to being a minister. That's the commitment I've made, that for our people, I'll always be available. I'm still a member of the African National Congress and in good standing. And as you know, himself, former president, he says he's a member of both. So
yeah, welcome to another episode of The People's Eye. Today we have a special visitor, a politician, a lawyer. I don't know which one. What he is now, is a lawyer first or is a politician first. His name is Bongani Bongo. Some people know him as Thomas. Some people may know him as the real cat with 9 lives. But we'll talk about that as we go along in the interview. Welcome, my brother, to The People's Eye.
No, thank you to you, Sizwe, and the People's Eye.
How have you been? You've been out of the public eye for a while. How have you been generally?
No, I've been doing well. I'm not sure whether I'm out of the public eye or not, but I have been very well. As you know, that I'm between Mpumalanga and Gauteng, and no longer Cape Town.
No longer Cape Town, yeah. True that. You visit us at a time. I know you're very close to Tito Mboweni. I know he liked you very much. How do you feel? How do you feel right now about his passing? And what was he to you?
No, I think first and foremost, I would like to say condolences to the family, to the close family, and to other friends and comrades. I think he was very close to me in many ways. And as you well aware that when I was properly under siege from every corner of this country, he stood up and said that I actually know nothing about anything that has been said about me, and he requested the nation to give me a chance.
Exactly. I remember that time on social media. That was 20 June 2019. This is what he wrote. If I were asked to write a testimonial for Comrade Bongo, I would say, for the short time that I have worked with him in Limpopo as an ANC deployee, he has impressed me as a highly conscientious, hardworking, reliable, trustworthy, committed, dependable, and humble person. He's not a fanatic. He has a sense of humor, too. I don't know anything else. Give the young man a chance. That was very profound. I mean, the ways he explained to you, hardworking, reliable, trustworthy, committed, dependable, humble.
No, I think those words kept me going from that day until today, because you will know what I went through from that time up until almost today. Because at least there was one single man who stood out against everyone in the country to say no. What we are saying against this young man is actually not true.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did give counsel to the leadership of our organization that
yes,
you must look at this thing differently.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll always remember him for being truthful, for being honest himself, and for expressing his views at all cost without fear or favor.
Mm-hmm.
And from where I'm sitting, he was not afraid of anyone for the purposes of expressing his views. I'm sure he was only afraid of God. And that is why from where I'm sitting, I think he's a good ancestor, he's a good guardian angel, and will forever be indebted to the views that he expressed, whether you like them or not, but he'll always express a fair view of what he sees things to be in this country. And he has built this country himself with his own hands. As you now hear that all labor legislations in this country were developed by him.
Oh, he was a Minister of Labour at some stage. The first portfolio.
The first portfolio was Minister of Labour. All those legislations that are progressive in favor of our people. He's the one who drafted those legislation, and he made sure that they are successful. But at the end, when I met him about 3 weeks ago, he said, when I resigned as a Minister of Finance, I already laid the basis that there must be a state bank. And a state bank must concentrate more on funding SMMEs, because that will break the boundary of this inequality that we see. Because I'm worried, and he said, I'm worried about 3 things. Which 3 things is what I fought for. I joined and I accepted the National Democratic Revolution. And the National Democratic Revolution has identified 3 things as the enemy of the people of this country. That is poverty, inequality, and unemployment. And he said, to deal with these inequalities, I think if there be a state bank, this state bank must fund SMMEs so that we can deal with this pattern of this economy. So that the SMMEs are generally black, and they must not go and get money from the ordinary banks. But state bank must fund them. And he said it must not be only one state bank. The one that must start is the one that must assist SMME. Others streams of the state bank will deal with those kind of issues later. And he was also worried about the issue of race and the issue of tribalism. Because he said, I'm also worried that if I'm a Tsonga this side and I take a Ndebele woman, when I bring the Ndebele woman this side of Nkwankwa, they start to say, no, why do you do this?
You've brought the wrong person.
We've got the wrong person, and we still classify ourselves in terms of ethnicity and tribalism. He said, these are the challenges that we need to face now. And I think he was up and about to start to face these challenges and assist anyone else. But other than that, he was at a personal level. At a personal level, we had 2 appointments that we were supposed to deal with. One, he said he wanted to cause me to meet the president of Rwanda, whom he was very close with.
Okay.
And then secondly was that because I'm now unemployed, he said he will connect me to some international board that I must serve in.
Wow.
So I think to me, it's not only a great loss as a comrade and not a great loss as a revolutionary, but I think it's a great loss to my own family.
True. I think he saw something big in you as a older person, an experienced person, you being a young person, a son. I think he saw something great. But on a lighter note, have you tasted his cooking?
No, certainly. He was not only cooking. He was not only cooking the tin fish, by the way.
Yeah.
And he's cooking, from what we discussed with him, it was always a reaction to the state of the nation. Oh. That is why when he cooked this,
it reflected
the mood of the state of the nation, so that it was related to those kind of things. So and other people think he was cooking that fish only. I think the last time I was with him, he cooked biryani. And then he was showing me how to cook biryani. And I said it's okay. And I think he said it was nice, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so he was a chef in his own right, and self-taught. Unlike myself, I'm not a chef self-taught. I'm a chef with qualification to that extent.
Oh, really? It's something we don't know about you. Actually, most people don't know much about you. I think in 2017, when President Jacob Zuma appointed you as the Minister of Intelligence, then people were more like, who is Bongo now? Who is Bongo? Let's start from the beginning. Starting from your surname Bongo is like Yende. It's not really a familiar surname in South Africa. At least Yende is better, although, yeah. Where did you grow up? Let's start from the beginning.
No, it's okay. I think I was born and bred in an area called Denelton. That's where I did both my primary and secondary education. It's an area which was in Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
But later on...
It's the Mutsa area there.
The Mutsa area. That area, later on, it was a cross-band when when President Mbeki, as he then was the president. It was a cross-boundary. It was serviced by both Mpumalanga and Limpopo. But later on, the area it's in Limpopo now. So I was born and bred in that area. So everyone knows me in that area. And our parents were working in Wheatbank, in the mines there. So they used to come once a month. But as we're progressing, working and studying there, I think I finished my matric there.
Okay.
I think I was still very young.
Yeah. Tertiary? What did you
And I was still very young, and I was shocked that I got an exemption, which actually no one in the area would normally get. I think I was amongst the few to get exemption. So my father was driving equipment of the mine from one country to the other, Mozambique, Swaziland, and so on. He could not afford my education. So the first year in 1997, I was at home.
Okay. After finishing matric.
After finishing matric, then I was an activist of both COSAS and the ANC Youth League.
Yes.
And then I met, in 1997, I met Peter Mokaba, who, because I was small and tiny, said,
a young one.
What are you doing here? Why aren't you going to school? I said, I'm already finished. These are my results, and he was so impressed.
Okay.
Then he phoned a guy called Jack Class in the University of Limpopo.
What does he meet you? He meets you in Denelton, Peter Mokaba.
We're around that area of the of Skokun.
Okay.
So he told the Jack Class chap that this guy will call you and please find a way of admitting him in the university.
That's great.
So Jack Class, whom I met also when I was serving in the portfolio committee on corrections.
Yeah.
He's in the Western Cape. He's the head of correctional service.
Okay.
Then I met him there the following year. He gave me a bursary for 6 months to eat. And then he registered me under TEPSA.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it was God's grace or what, because after I registered, I was then part of the SRC from that day. Until I left the university, I was part of the SRC structures.
Okay. Well,
so as an SRC member, your fees get to be paid by the institution.
Yeah.
So that's how my fees were now constantly paid. And the other portion was paid by that TEPSA, but SRC took a lot of the fees because I was serving there.
Okay. Then
I served in the SRC structures there. I think I was at some point when I started, I was head of the Treasurer's General's office. Then the second time I was the chairperson of Housing, Catering, Safety and Security in the SRC. The next thing I was the deputy secretary of the SRC. After that, I was the president of the SRC.
Okay.
So then I went back to the community. Like I said, I was already in the structures of the ANC. When I went back...
What were you studying at the university? University of Teflop, right?
It was University of the North, what we call now University of Limpopo.
Yeah.
So that University of Limpopo is University of Limpopo now.
Yeah.
So I studied LLB. So my qualifications is LLB. That I got from the University of Limpopo. It's an honors equivalent.
Yeah.
Then I did my postgraduate. I did it in VETS.
Okay.
It's on economic development policy. And now I'm busy with regenesis on furthering the knowledge that we need to equip ourselves with.
Still in the field of law.
No, it's not in the field of law. It's in the field of public administration.
Oh, okay. No.
So I was still telling you about.
Yeah.
I was still telling you about what?
Your student activism.
Student activism. Then I went back home. When I went back home, I was integrated into the structures of the ANC Youth League. And when I went back home, it was when we were doing a realignment.
Okay.
It was a realignment process where we're now taken from Mpumalanga strictly to Limpopo.
Yeah.
So we're the first cohort to be appointed RTT members of the Eskukune region ANC Youth League.
Okay.
So when we're busy with that, my family relocated to Siabuswa.
Okay.
So when we relocated to Siabuswa, then I went back to Mpumalanga.
Yeah, that's a tricky area because if you drive through, you find yourself in Mpumalanga, then next village is Limpopo, the next one is Mpumalanga.
I think that I think that is what the people there are fighting. We're fighting about, all this confusion. But what was nice about the ANC policy is that, and we encourage all our people that you don't need to worry about where exactly you are. But if you have a councillor, you have a municipality, then we have where you account in terms of your services and so on. You should not be worrying really about the province. That is why when I'm at home, ourselves and Limpopo now are separated by the main road, R573. So it shouldn't be a main worry. The main worry must be to get the services from your ward councillor, to get the services from the municipality. And that must be the main. Otherwise, we are one people and we are one country. So we can't be fighting about we're this side or this side.
Yeah.
So we relocated to Siabuswa, and I then reconnected properly with the the ANC Mpumalanga province. And in that regard, then I was also taken back to the RTTs of the ANC Youth League. Having served in the RTT of the ANC Youth League, then I was now elected to be in the REC of the ANC in Kangala region.
Yes.
Parallel with that, I was elected to be in the PC of the ANC Youth League in the province of Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
So it was RC ANC Youth League PC. And later on elected as now a PC member of the ANC in the province of Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
And surely then graduated from the Youth League. Then I left the Youth League. But before I graduated, you'll remember that I also contested to chair the province of the Youth League at the time, before I graduated, in the popularly known Sivesetu conference. I think I was defeated there by a chap called Tabelang. Then later on, I continued to serve in the PEC now of the ANC in the province.
Yeah.
And then subsequent to that, as you know, I was then elected to be a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC.
Yeah.
And those assertions you said about Tito,
yes,
may his soul rest in peace, were after we're both deployed in Limpopo province as NEC deployees.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's. I'm happy you've mentioned a bit of that background, because most ordinary people will know you maybe from the time you were a PEC member of the ANC in Mpumalanga. Then before then, it's fuzzy what you were up to. That's why when President Zuma appointed you as the Minister of Intelligence, then there were, from the opposition, from everybody, there were a lot of questions about, hey, who is this man?
Yeah, I think it was indeed quite, from the perspective of civil society, maybe it's fair, but from this perspective of operators, I think they all celebrated that now President Zuma has a vision on how issues of state security must be dealt with. Because you'll remember that other than that, we receive high-level training from Russia and China about issues that relates to intelligence.
True.
So it's not something you can tell the community, because we are the form is we're in the form that we're in. We're not in a form that we can see. You can't see this form. We're formless.
Yeah, that's true. and maybe another contributing factor to this whole thing about people asking, who is this? You were very young. For a minister, that age, you were in your early 40s. Very, very, for a minister, that is very young in South Africa. You know, most of them are in their 60s. They start in their 60s, 50s.
No, actually, I was 38 years when...
38 even.
I was 38 years when I think I was the youngest minister in the new dispensation, because you'll note that at least Tokotijisa and Tito Mboweni were appointed by Mandela. They were also youngest ministers.
Yes, yes.
So in the era of president who came after, I think I was one of the youngest ministers. I'm sure that's why many people also felt like they can just attack as and when they feel like attacking.
Yeah, no, that's true. But now that brings me to the question of you've been known as being very close to former President Jacob Zuma. Obviously, he was your comrade when we were together in the ANC, your senior comrade. Nothing wrong about that. You've been through many struggles together. I think you've been in trouble because of issues related to his administration before and all of that. But just the man, not as a politician, but as a person, as an elder person, what is he like? As a father figure or as a grandfather figure?
I can confirm to you that he's a very warm person, and he's a father to me until to date. I would not take that. If you visit my house, you'll still find some of the pictures of him because he's a father. Other than we leave the other issues around.
Yes.
I think, and I think he's a great leader for people. And I respect him as such, and I think many South Africans also respect him. Respect him as such. I think his contribution to the people of this country, it's unquestionable.
True. It is. And I'm thinking about Tito Mboweni. I'm thinking about him. These are two people I think who really saw something in you, something really big in you. I mean, he appointed you to a very, very important portfolio. And I remember at some point he sent you as his special envoy to resolve the conflict in Zimbabwe before Robert Mugabe was toppled.
Yeah, no, I think it's humbling to have people like Tito Mboweni. I think it's Tito Mboweni, Jacob Zuma, who are elderly, other than my peers, who are just elderly people who, I think it's Tito Mboweni, it's Jacob Zuma, and another, the Vice Chancellor of University of Limpopo, who always wanted to give me the chance that Tito requested must be given, and also give a benefit of doubt where I've made some errors and mistakes. So, but I hope that the passing away of Tito Mboweni will give also a lot of reflection to elderly people in our organization to start to treat those younger ones in a manner that they build them, not to treat them like they want to destroy them.
Yeah, because now, politics is rough nowadays. I think what you're talking about, there's basically no chance for it to happen. The elder grooming the younger. There's always this fighting.
I'm not sure, but I think I'm not sure it's a function of what, but you know that at least what I can tell you now is that I have comfort with what Oliver Tambo wanted to do and what he did exactly, and what Comrade Nelson Mandela did. Because now if you visit certain countries like Latin America, you can see that their vision was to book all of us as a generation. They've booked a space for us in the family of nations. Last time I visited Cuba, they say, "We are from South Africa. How well do you know Nelson Mandela?" Then the Uber driver said, "No, don't pay." And why? He says, "Because you come from the land of Nelson Mandela." Wow. So you can see the vision Nelson Mandela wanted to have for future generations, for all of us whom he did not meet personally. So I think the challenge is that this leadership that is currently there must begin now a journey to book a space to the future generation in the family of nations. So that when we visit certain countries, we are able to we are able to be told about a specific leader, and it's humbling what you hear about Oliver Tambo and Nelson Mandela when you visit Cuba, Venezuela,
yes,
and other countries like Algeria, Western Sahara. They speak highly of them. Their visionary leadership has booked a space for us in the family of nations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that's really great. I would like you to take us through. You've been also a member of parliament, holding various portfolios there. You know, I'm just going back a little bit, digging into your history so that people know holistically who are you and never perceive you from the point of, oh, this is the guy who was recently in court. You know, in the public court, you might still be guilty even though you are a free man now. So in parliament, I know you held a few powerful positions there as well. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, I think I have served, and when I look back now, I think I'm getting to be proud that. And I was a bit unhappy with some people when they were not appointed. They resign. I say, when you go to parliament, it's an honor to serve our people. It has nothing to do about salaries and so on. It's an honor. So we must do that honor. So in parliament, I've served first the committees that I've served in. I was in the rules committee from, I think for the past 10 years I was there. I was in the rules committee of parliament, joint rules of the National Council of Provinces and the National Assembly. But I've served in the Committee of Justice and Correctional Services. I've served in the Committee of Communications. I've served in the Committee of Defense and Military Veterans.
Yes.
I've served in the Committee of Small Businesses. I've served in the Committee of... I've served in ad hoc committees.
Yes.
The one that appointed the Public Protector.
Yes.
I served also in the committee that deals with the discipline of members of parliament. I've served in the committee, the ad hoc committee that was dealing with the financials of parliament and the political party funding.
Yes.
It was an ad hoc committee.
Yes.
I served also in that committee. And I think I served in...
You were a group leader in the committee on this, looking at the Section 25 of the Constitution.
I was a co-chairperson of the committee that was looking at amending Section 25. I was co-chairing that one with Mathola Motshekga. And I think I served in almost a lot of committees. I also intervened in quite a number of committees.
Yeah.
Because the organization also felt like having a legal background will also assist to augment.
Yeah.
So I was trusted by almost all the chief whips that I've served under to intervene in a lot of other committees. But those that were 80 seat is those that I've counted, and I chaired the Home Affairs.
Yes, the
Home Affairs Committee. I also chaired. And other than that, I was what we are not saying. I was also a Minister of State Security. I was appointed by President Zuma under the guidance of our organization.
Yeah. No, that's what we started with. We called it in layman's language the Minister of Intelligence, State Security, of course.
Yeah, on record is Minister of State Security.
Yeah. And which I believe, well, you're no longer a Minister of State Security, but you're still a spy.
I will not confirm.
It's a lifelong thing.
I will not confirm all those
I'm told
things.
that once you're in the system, you don't get out of the system.
Who told you? That is a
Confirm that.
No, I don't want to confirm those. I don't want to confirm operational issues.
So you're telling me if I can get you high on the most potent drugs I can get, you won't reveal the state secrets. You were trained not to reveal them. I can get you.
I should have done that by now. After all the trials and tribulation, I should have done that. But the discipline is still reigning high, and I'm proud that the discipline is still showing itself. Otherwise, we would have revealed a lot of wrong things that may have cost.
It is allegiance to the Republic.
Yeah, because we have signed a serious oath that will be loyal to the Republic and defend its integrity. And we requested God to so help us. So we've got to stand by the oath.
Oh, okay. No, man, because just to ask you this question, there has been this hula balloon in Mpumalanga that they are listening to us, check how we call, who you call, which app do you use, and all those things. Is there a file that has my name on it there?
I will not. I will distance myself from. I will distance myself from use of files, but all I can say. Somebody comes to me and say, my phone, when I talk, it say khro, 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 khro. So what assist me? Am I bugged or not? Then my comment was, if I was part of that, I'll want the phone to be so silent that I can hear everything. Once it say khro, 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 it means it means I can't hear even myself. So I think the person, it's either it's an amateur or you just have your own problems. You are scared by your own dealings.
Yeah.
Because once it makes that sound, it clearly shows that the person on the other side also cannot really hear properly what is the conversation about.
No, I think as civilians we don't understand a lot.
So the phone must be so silent that it intercepts.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's not delve.
From where I'm sitting, I don't know, from the civil society point of view.
We're not sure what is happening, but
okay.
But all we know is that such things can only be done through court processes. Nobody can just listen to my phone, and I think that I know. Can you can tell us that you need to get some court, you need to apply in court in order
No, it will depend
it depends.
Depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
If it will depend on what you really want to do.
Okay.
If you want to use it as evidence, then you must go to court.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to use it for other purposes, not for court purposes, you'll have to do other things.
Yeah, okay. No.
But it's only fair, my advice, that the public must stay away from issues that are dealt with by State Security General, because those people have taken an oath and they are disciplined and they are looking after the interest of this country and the interest of the people of this country.
And their security issues as
so you must just give them the chance to execute as they are taught and as they are trained.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on, you mentioned the ad hoc committee that appointed Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Still, there was a lot of noise there with your name being mentioned. No, they are from Gangala region in Mpumalanga. Bongo pulled the strings for her. Maybe you didn't get to explain that really much.
No, I think
personal relationship with Busisiwe Mkhwebane, or you followed the process that needed to be followed to appoint her.
No, I think the processes in Parliament are quite very open. And as you know, there is a record of all people who attended the interviews at the time, how they fared. I think Twitter at the time also was participating actively, and everyone was saying, this is how we see things. Yes, we indeed came from the same region, but I come from Siabuswa, he comes from Kwaggafontein. You can't pull strings in a committee of a multi-party committee. You can only say your contribution, and then other people contribute. And there was generally a unanimous agreement from all parties that she stood the test of time. And we were quite satisfied, except the DA.
Yeah.
So that is why the whole Parliament voted for her. It's just that the people at home were so happy that for the first time a person from that part of the Western region is being recognized.
Yeah.
Because you'll remember, since the democratic dispensation, our area never had a minister.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I was the first minister in that Western area to be appointed since democracy.
Yeah.
Since democracy was here, so each time you appoint even a person who's an official, they get so happy that we're being recognized. But the first minister, it was myself in the area of the Western, what we used to call Western region.
Yeah, yeah.
Other than that, when I left, also there was never a minister appointed
from
in 30 years in our area.
Even from Mpumalanga, there has not been many. I think when David Mahlo was appointed, we were just counting. Was he not the first or the second? Was the second? I think we were just counting. There have been a few from the Mpumalanga province in general. Is it a matter of dying for the sins of your fathers? Because I understand there were issues with Thabo Mbeki in Mpumalanga and Matthews Posa at that time. And then Thabo Mbeki, punished Mpumalanga. Because Matthew Posa was contesting the deputy presidency, I think, and Nelson Mandela had to ask him to withdraw, and then Mbeki took over, but he was not happy about that. The stories that we hear, and then that's why Mpumalanga was forever treated as an outcast from the Mbeki administration. I think it extended to a certain extent until the Zuma administration came in, and then things started to flow.
I wouldn't...
or you were too young to know about
that? I wouldn't comment much about that. I only know that I respect President Mbeki as a great leader of our movement too, but we didn't know what was really inside at the time. But we were young comrades. At the time, we were leading the Youth League, and we always just followed what the leadership was doing. But now we're no longer young comrades. We have grown by leaps and bounds. We can now analyze and say, but we need to deal also with the issue of demographics. I think President Zuma broke the ice in terms of the issue of demographics.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll forever remember him for what he did wherever he is. And we hope future president will consider these demographics, because they are very important to the people on the ground.
Yeah, they are very important. And when we started, you were talking about the cross-boundary municipal area you grew up in. And then, but I also feel that the boundaries and borders that were boundaries, provincial, municipal, that were created after democracy, they still somehow, separate us. It's still the same principle of separate development, because if you say Mpumalanga, then somebody say Amaswati, Namandebele there. KwaZulu Natal, Limpopo, so on and so forth. I don't know how.
No.
Have you ever thought about it? How do you feel about that?
No, you're quite right. But you remember the agenda of the democratic project is a creation of non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, united, and a prosperous country. So I think that is an agenda of the democratic project. So as we prosecute it, you will always find these challenges. And it's exactly what Comrade Tito raised with me, Uti. If you take the level of tribalism and ethnicity are so much more than what we've done. What happened to the democratic project?
Yeah.
So the leadership, as we elect it from time to time, at the back of the mind, it must be to ensure that we don't lose the focus of ensuring that we create a truly non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, united, and a prosperous country. So where we don't separate each other in terms of Swati, Ndebele. You remember this was a call in 1906 by Pix Isaka, which at least led to the formation of the ANC in 1912.
Yes.
Kuti Zulu, Xhosa, Shangani come together. We are one thing. Your enemy is imperialism. Fight it. And in 1912, a big organization was formed to deal with those issues, to unite our people.
Yeah.
So this organization was and still is a weapon at the disposal of our people to change their lives, so that finally they get to be their own liberators.
For sure.
We don't look at each other in terms of Swati, Ndebele, Zulu, Xhosa, Shangane.
Yeah.
Venda. But Tito was very worried about this phenomenon, that it's
a project that has not borne any fruits. We have still got to work hard on it.
But my argument has always been, it has taken the ANC between 1912 and 1994, 92 years. Is it 92 or 82?
Yeah.
Just to fight for the rights, a right for legal, a right human rights.
Yes.
Just the rights. It took us about 82 years, and now we're only about 30 years into democracy. We are not even half this journey, and our complaint are more than this 82 years itself. I think we need to reflect on that, both as either as an organization and also as a nation, to say if only rights that are in the constitution took us 82 years and we're 30 years, and we hope we can fight economic freedom. Economic freedom is going to take us double. It's going to take us double this, because the imperialism is not quiet. The imperialism is fighting, and in its fight, it also infiltrates you. It infiltrates you, and it fights on the side. It infiltrates you, and then you will take more time to.
Yeah.
And those who started in 1912, 1994, all of them were dead. So when we win the economic, or when we engage in this economic struggle of our people, we're not doing it for ourselves. We're doing it for our children and the next generation, so that themselves must benefit. We benefited from the political one, so that the future generation must benefit. And it won't take 82 years.
You reckon?
It won't take 30 years. Like you see now, we're only 30 years into this thing, but we think we must have achieved
everything.
When we've spent 82 years just fighting for political, that's the political rise. So the economic one, the imperialism, and the monopoly capitals are at play. And when you think we're about to win on a particular policy, they either take you to court, or they buy some of you to fight, so that you fight amongst yourself.
True.
To reverse the gains.
It's not easy. It's not easy. And as you say, it takes decades to achieve some of the objectives, because they were entrenched for decades before.
Certainly.
Yeah. No, man, let us move on. Now you're starting, I mean, there is a rising star in you, a political star, young, educated, with the right political credentials. Now you're a full-time politician, and then something starts. You are in parliament, then there are issues of state capture. You are accused of bribery. You are accused of other things. State capture. You remember the case of Vanara. This evidence leader of the parliament's inquiry into state capture at ESCOM. The allegations that you offered a bribe. What happens there? What do you feel about that time of your life? Did you feel that now you are really going down?
No, not really. All I know is that a diamond, before it gets to be what we buy in the shops, it must go through fire.
It must be processed.
It must go through proper fire. So, and when they say we're all round cadre, you must have been tried and tested with smaller allegations and bigger allegations which are not there. But as we can talk now, those allegations were dismissed by court.
Yeah.
But certain people were not happy with the person who was judging at the time. They said they request that we need to retry and get another judge.
It was Judge Slope, yeah?
It was
No, I've heard another story about a qualified lawyer like you, but he was a businessman. Then they charged him on false charges. Judge Slope dismisses them. Then there were these speculations. No, they know each other. That kind of a thing. They say, this person was telling me, we featured him on the podcast here. Same with you now, who said like...
No. I think if they do not like the judge, they think the judge did not. But I've always said, let's start afresh for your benefit, and then let's see what comes out. But like I told you, in the case that you saw in Nelspruit, the judge arrived at the same conclusion as Judge Slope. And that conclusion was a discharge in terms of Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Act. And if you if you wanted to know what that means, it means it's when the judge or a magistrate says to you, just go home. We have no case to answer. I don't need you to answer anything. Actually, what they are saying against you has nothing to do with you. Just go home. So,
yeah, you see the land case in Nelspruit. I mean, many people, myself included, we thought you were deep in it. Why? Because we're talking about you were a legal advisor in the Department of Human Settlements. I think the drafting of contracts and everything passed through your hands, obviously, as the,
that's correct,
as the legal advisor. Well, you've been acquitted now, you're a free man, but we really thought you were deep in it, very deep in it, because they also mentioned of your relatives. They're saying they're tracing the money from this dodgy land deal to your associate, to your family members, and then ending up with you having a car or something like that.
No, I think
there was that.
Those things were done by it was malice. They were not really connecting the same way for the court processes.
Yes,
they were just connected by a certain chap called Tom Kosi.
Okay.
Of Ziwapi. He connected those things, and this thing sold everywhere in the can. And it was a lie. Because when you go to court, they say the magistrate said the magistrate, in his conclusion about me, says, insofar as accused number 8, Mr. Bongo, I find that this guy is a man of integrity. Every contract he has drafted, every work he has put was above board. There is one letter which was brought by Mr. Mboweni, which says that Mr. Bongo signed on his behalf and he did not see it. And if I were to use that letter, this letter, other than Mr. Bongo signing, it is signed by the CFO, signed by the HOD, and other than that, it went to all the committees that must approve. It means Mr. Mboweni was not going to work, because he should have seen this letter if he was going, if he was working. That is the conclusion in the judgment. It means he was not working, because this letter, it went to BAC, it went to bid adjudicating, it went to all these things. So anyone could have seen the letter. Who was in the office. And as a result, this Mr. Bongo that did his job diligently, and I'm happy. And at this point, I want him to go back. He must just go back home, not to answer any of these allegations leveled against him. And I said, at least, finally, we have somebody who's independent, and he's just judging this case. And we left, and we hope that with time our integrity will be respected and be reinstated even by the public.
Do you think it was more politically motivated?
No, certainly, you wrote a lot about that when we were writing for Cities Press. And my comment have always been strictly that this has politics in it. It does not have the merits. But it was painted in public so that every one of you believe that even the judge must believe who were killed. But for the first time, I also realized some of the judges are people of integrity. They do their job without fear or favor.
And they don't get influenced by the political dynamics.
The political dynamics and the political atmosphere outside. Because when this case was about to be decided, if you were following the media, they were busy speaking about this one of starting Cape Town to change the mind of this one. This guy must be in jail no matter what. But he was very strict about his work. And I think the people of this country must celebrate such great human being who will, without fear or favor, execute their work. So the case is gone.
Yeah, but who was waging this political war against you?
I'm sure you know, by the way, but for the purposes of the public, I think, and for the purposes of what I've also said in public, that we're going to take this as a chapter that we're closing and start a new chapter so that we don't scratch back some of these wounds.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you know that I also know. Even those people know. But I have said on a public platform that I'm prepared to start a new chapter, and I'm prepared to forgive and forget what has happened. It's a learning curve, and we hope this thing does not happen to our children. And we need to protect our children from this kind of things.
But do you really forgive? I mean, I'm sure your life has been in limbo for a while. You have stepped aside from the ANC, and you are a politician. You could be a minister, deputy minister now, or you could be in parliament or serving in another capacity. But because you have been charged, then you have to step aside. This was your second step aside, right? Relating to the land issue.
No, I had already stepped aside. So
since the parliament,
since the
parliamentary
first
issue.
One.
Okay.
we really need to take this country forward.
Yeah.
And learning from our father Nelson Mandela. You know, and apply forgiveness. So that we can move forward. If we don't forgive, we're not going to move forward as a nation.
Yes.
So we need to take these people who do these things and forgive them. And what I can tell you also about forgiveness, that the more you forgive, is the more you get relief yourself. Because once you hold these things in you, you will end up suspecting everyone, hating everyone. So once you forgive, it also relieves you to move forward, to start another chapter. And then we will meet. These are the challenges of life. And life presents itself with a lot of challenges. And we must face them. And we must conquer these challenges. So I think that's what we must concentrate on. We've closed on this one. So the next one, we must also look into them and work on conquering every challenge that we meet. Yeah. So, as you know, the one in Bombela is gone now because there were some allegations that they wanted to appeal. So the law provides that the only way you can appeal, you must appeal on the question of law. Yeah. You can't appeal on the facts. Okay. And other than that, the law provides that if you want to do that appeal, you must do it within 20 days. Yes. From the time the judgment has been given. Yeah. So I think it's 5 months to 6 months down the line after the judgment is given. I think it is gone and is gone for good. The Cape Town one, we're waiting for the NPA to elect on what they want to do. Okay. And then we will react to that as a new challenge. And we're ready to cooperate because we need to participate in building a kind of society that we must all participate in. And a kind of society that the future generation must participate in. So we'll have to abide by what we're required to do by the law. Yeah. And but at the same time request those who abuse the law to be considerate.
True. Bongani, it may seem that the real cat with 9 lives from Mpumalanga is you. You've gone through a lot, and so far, you have escaped unscathed, free. We have, people gave the nickname of a cat maybe to a wrong person. Maybe the real cat is you. How do you feel about escaping these challenges, legal challenges?
You'd recall that when I appeared for the first time in court, I did say what was to be the outcome of court because I was quite certain about the facts and what has happened. And the whole build up to this kind of things. But I think all in all, I'm not sure of the cat per se, but you recall Mosgood, I believe in Jesus Christ, so I always think God's mercy is the one that gives the whole direction. And every time I pray, I thank God that at least we manage to get me out of these things. And by the way, wherever I meet, I think the people of this country still have confidence in me. Because wherever I go, they still want me to represent them in this capacity or that capacity. So I think we I broke even.
Okay.
Not out of my own wisdom, the wisdom of God and the ancestors.
Okay. So, what is next for you? You've obviously been out of the political game for a while. What have you been doing all along, and what is next for you? Are you coming back full steam into politics, or you just want to change and do something else?
No, I've been just taking care of my health. Because these things, they can eat up your health.
Yeah.
It's not the simple stuff. So...
Wait, talking about health, there was a talk that you were poisoned at some point.
Yeah, I think it's also in the public. I stayed in a waterfall hospital for about 3 months.
Sure.
And later, true to what I explained earlier, that because we were booked by our forebears in the family of nations, I think about 2 countries requested me to come to their countries to do due diligence on the poison which was administered. I think I went both to Russia and Cuba. And we were doing due diligence on what was done. And we were still managing general the health part. But in terms of way forward, I think we were revolutionaries. So a revolutionary remains revolutionary.
And the expectation as a revolutionary is that these kinds of things will happen.
Not only these kind of things, but as a revolutionary, will still be there in the political space as revolutionaries.
Yeah.
But you know that our children are growing very fast. They want to be taken care of. So because I'm not in parliament, I'm not in...
Yes.
I'm not anywhere, so I will have to start both business, pursue revolution, and... but by the way, you remember, I worked even up to a chief director in government.
Yes.
So I have a wealth of experience in government, both in the executive, in parliament, and in the administration. So I think I'm one of the rare breed in terms of understanding government.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and we didn't mention that you are an admitted advocate, right?
Yes, I was admitted in 2007 in front of Justice Seriti and Justice Prinsloo in Pretoria. I'm also practicing. I'm also a practicing advocate. I have a number, practice number.
Yeah.
So I'm under both Gauteng and Mpumalanga.
Wow.
In terms of practicing. So don't be surprised if you see me in court representing somebody anytime.
Yeah. No, your opportunities are limitless, and we're just talking about what the future holds for you. What do you think you need to do in future? But we were expecting that since you're very close to the former president, you might be crossing to the MK party.
No, I've not taken that decision. I'm still a member of the African National Congress and in good standing. And as you know, himself, former president, he says he's a member of both. so
Floyd was saying for strategic reasons, we allow the president to be a member of both those in strategic positions and for strategic reasons.
Yeah, so I don't know that, but I have taken a conscious decision that I remain with the organization. And but as you know, himself, also former president, did say that he will not leave the ANC under no circumstances. And we asked to the reason ANC to Zuma simthande ukuthi wasifundisa ukubekezela.
Yeah.
So we don't know what will be happening in the future, but now we're still here, still loyal members, and we want to contribute towards making sure that the ANC continue to be that weapon at the disposal of our people to change their lives, so that finally they get to be their own liberators.
Yeah.
So I think that is that.
And I don't know. I understand you still intend, and you are still a member of the ANC, and you'll remain a member of the ANC. But are you planning to, serve in the capacities like in Parliament, like before? If you are deployed in cabinet, wherever, are you still prepared to serve at the higher level in government as a deployee of the ANC, or maybe your plan is to being an activist and do something else as a livelihood?
I have made a commitment with our people, and I'll serve them in whatever capacity, starting from being a councillor to being a minister. That's a commitment I've made, that for our people, I'll always be available, and I'll always serve. Like now that I'm also unemployed, I'm doing also a lot of service in my former university.
Yeah.
I'm in the council of University of Limpopo.
Oh, you're now in the council.
I'm in council. I'm also president emeritus of Convocation. So I'm also assisting them, because their motto is to find solutions for Africa. So I'm trying to assist them reach out to Africa, so that we can do better for our people, not only the people of South Africa, but the SADC and the continent. I think we're called upon to do that, and we must do that work. And as we do that work, I think we also receive blessings, because this work is not what we are paid for. But doing it out of your own, it's your own time and your own, almost everything.
Okay. Yeah, let us conclude with the point where we started. You said you met one Peter Mkhwebane. You were young and stranded. You could not further your education. Here you are today. You are an admitted attorney. You've got this vast experience. That Peter Mkhwebane, what lesson did it teach you that you carried throughout your life up until now? That experience with Peter Mkhwebane that really changed your life?
I think is that we owe this thing to our people, and that there are people amongst us who are prepared to serve the people with dignity and honor. And when I look at whatever I've achieved, qualification and everything, that's why I attribute it to the people. Because it's not something that even my parents could afford, not even. So this was a community that was contributing towards what has happened. It's a great word of the community. We must take it back to the community and encourage everyone. Myself alone, I've assisted, I'm sure, more than 10 students to get degrees.
Yes.
I had to be responsible for my own siblings who came after me to get degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm committed to ensure that we assist the bigger chunk of the community. This issue of free education that Zuma finally adopted
Yeah.
It was us who were agitating that free education is necessary for the people of South Africa. You may not see us in the forefront now claiming that we are behind the free education, but we're literally behind because we know what would it mean changing the life of a black person and a black child. Because the free education gets to be what is generational wealth. I see now they are crying that their graduates were sitting at home. But sitting at home, 30 years ago, you were going to sit at home with your only matric. So 30 years later, you are sitting at home with the degree.
Tertiary qualification.
So once things turn around in terms of the economic outlook, things will change.
Okay.
Because we want an economy also that is going to be in favor of the majority. So for it to be that way, we need to change the system, the pattern, and the structure of this economy so that it can be in favor of the majority.
Yeah.
So it's temporary that they are sitting with these degrees at home, because once we change the structure of the economy, they will not be looking for jobs, but they will start to create jobs themselves. And that is the ultimate goal. It may not take the kind of time. People may be impatient, but we know the vision. We know what our forebears wanted to do, and we want to also commit that we want to take the baton from there and truly change the lives of the people for the better.
Okay. No, that's fine. In conclusion, I'll ask you 2 questions. I need a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
Do you have ambitions to come back and be the Premier of Mpumalanga?
Yeah, that is dependent on the structures on the ground.
Do you want to be president of the country?
It is that is dependent on God.
But I asked for a yes or no answer, but it's okay. Okay, there we have it. Thanks a lot for visiting us.
Thank you very much to you and the people's eye. I've seen that it is bringing us a lot of things that we miss in the news. The way people's eye consolidate the work and bring it to us, I think is quite good for us who are not watching TV too much and reading too much, because we get all the documents packaged with this is what you may have seen or not seen. I think and wish people's eye must reach the heights that it deserves. We'll support as far as we can, that because the power of information is very good, particularly for our people. So I think the people's eye must be the next booming thing in the province of Mpumalanga and South Africa, because I see some of the stories you give us are not from the province.
No.
They're from all over the country. So
yeah, the headquarters are in Mpumalanga. We're tired of headquarters of media being in Joburg. They are here in Mpumalanga.
What I want to say is that you must keep it up.
Yeah, thanks very much.
I think she's doing well from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, thanks very much. We will try our best.